Kai, thanks for joining us here today. So you've just won an award here at the PropTech and Innovation Awards.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the business. It's been running for kind of 4 years, I guess.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about, I guess, the business model and what you're aiming to do.
Okay. Well, we have coined a phrase called property banking, which basically means that if you own a building, you can now set up a property banking account with us. What that means is you now have access in the property banking to the equity in your building as well as the debt. So, and you can make choices about selling equity, fractionally selling equity, or fractionally increasing your debt. This is a real-time system that's available to you 365 days a year. You can simply log on and say, I want to sell 10% of my building and I want to increase my debt by 10%. And then you submit that, we put it into a trading exchange, and then that becomes a commodity for somebody else to buy and participate in the economic benefits of your asset. In terms of the investor view, you're not buying a single peer-to-peer property unit. You come in with a position. So I have £1 million. I want to invest in the UK property market, or London, or Chelsea, or this area. So you can scale where you are. We will then show you the buy side of what £1 million will get you. And that will be a mix of debt and equity units across 10, 50, 100, 1,000 property assets. You buy into a portfolio position. You have a net return of cash and equity every month. And then after a period of time, when you've made your profit, you then exit the system and somebody else will pick it up who's coming in. So it's what we call uncorrelated trading, which increases the liquidity. So for owners, property banking, debt and equity in your building is now a currency. You don't have to move, you can cash out. And for investors, portfolio acquisitions at one click.
And is this something, therefore, that could be used both in the individual residential space, but also in larger commercial buildings?
Absolutely, yeah. So we start with residential because it's an easier audience to reach, an easier audience to onboard. And then as we start to get better at what we do, we're going to hit the commercial, buy-to-let, commercial refinancing, bridging loans, mezzanine financing, the whole thing. So we actually got to just work our way across the sector and provide the service, because interactive debt and equity solves different problems for different people. First-time buyers now buy the percentage of the home they can afford, as opposed to the whole asset. Existing homeowners can now release the equity without moving. Buy-to-let people can offset their portfolio and the returns that their portfolio gives to other people so they can cash out. Commercial refinancing, bridging loans can be struck in very different fashions. So as you apply the core principles of our technology to different verticals, you get different results, you solve different problems. So it's a big industry. We'll start with a couple of things first, and then we'll work our way across it.
But it could potentially have quite a significant change in terms of different options and different opportunities for both debt and equity.
Yes, correct, yeah. It depends on the user. So we're owner-driven, we're asset owner-driven, we're not investor-driven. We know the investor market is there. We know people want to invest in property. It's always the case. So we're providing a new level of freedom around how owners operate, because they're the ones that provide the choices for the investors to make. So our markets interact. For instance, if you decide as an owner you don't want to pay the interest on your loan, you don't have to, and it's fine. You just stop paying. And every month you pay or underpay, we take the percentage of equity in your building and we pay out the loan to investors. So they still receive income from their investment. It just comes in cash or equity. And then you can buy back those units later. So we're creating a system that allows freedom to breathe in an otherwise ruthless debt culture, to give people some space to work out what they want to do with their money. And this is why we have a virtual world. The virtual world allows people to create the vision of the property they want. They can take inspiration from everybody else who's doing it and seek and educate and understand how the property industry works. And then they incorporate those philosophies in their own thing. We connect them with the ecosystem of architects, designers, engineers, whoever you need to do the work. We value it, and then you fund it from your asset, and then you create a living standard that's suitable for you. This is what it's about. Redistribution of wealth and living standards that are better than today, using the value of what you have already.